All right, welcome to another episode of the Life and Faith Podcast. I believe this is our 21st episode. I know we've broken a lot of them into smaller pieces, but we've been at it like 3 months now.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's been that long, but yeah. And we hit a milestone too.
Right, we're at hundreds of downloads.
Yes, hundreds.
We can officially say we have hundreds of... Thanks to our good friend Jeff, who downloaded the 200th episode. There'll be a prize in the mail for you. It won't be very impressive, but thank you all to Jeff and to all of our listeners who have contributed. We really appreciate you. Today we're going to do something a little more fun. We're going to read a few news stories, read a few things we picked up off of the AP website, apnews.com. If you want to read full articles and read more of these crazy stories, you can go there. All right, so I'll get started. By the way, I went golfing, and I put my glasses up on top of my car, and then I went and did the 9 holes, and then I came back to the car, and I put my stuff away, and I drove off with my glasses still up on top of my car.
Oh, my.
And so they were destroyed beyond repair.
I was wondering, it can't be the glasses you're wearing currently.
No. Nope. These are my old glasses, and I don't see as well with these. I'm going to do my best to read these. I'll get started.
Okay.
Okay. Here goes. A woman who fractured her left ankle during a trip with her husband to the Italian food emporium Eataly in Boston last year is blaming her injury on a piece of ham. Okay. Alice Cohen was heading to an area where food samples are distributed to customers on October 7th when she slipped on a piece of prosciutto and fell, according to a lawsuit filed in Suffolk Superior Court in Boston. Alice Cohen sustained bodily injuries, a loss of enjoyment of life, pain and suffering, and incurred necessary medical expenses for medical care and attention, the lawsuit says.
Oh, man.
Her medical expenses, including a hospital visit and physical therapy, have resulted in more than $7,500 in bills, according to the court papers. Cohen and her husband, Ronald, of Guilford, New Hampshire, are seeking a jury trial and at least $50,000 in damages. The lawsuit claims Eataly was negligent for not properly cleaning the floor. The restaurant, quote, had a duty to ensure that the surface of floors were free from unnecessary dangers, a duty to use ordinary care to maintain the premises in a reasonably safe condition, and a duty to warn of such dangerous conditions.
Wow.
She slipped on a piece of ham.
I'm trying to picture, like, stepping on a piece of ham. I guess, like, if it's a really greasy piece of ham, you could slip, but, man, that's...
Only the best kind of ham do you slip on.
Yeah, that's it's hard to tell what's more of a shame, is a perfectly good piece of ham being ruined by being stepped on, or this lady falling.
What I thought was interesting was where it said,
or the lawsuit itself.
Yeah, she had a loss of enjoyment of life.
Yeah.
I just don't enjoy life anymore.
So my parents specifically growing up, like, if we got ham, it was for one of us kids or something, because they hated ham. So for my parents, their opinion on ham is it's a loss of what is it? How does it put?
Oh yeah, a loss of enjoyment of life. To eat.
Yeah, that's for them every time they eat a piece of ham when they were younger, I guess. So for this lady, it's
Here you go.
on her back.
This one, you read that one.
Okay, gotcha. All right, suburban Detroit woman says she found a live frog in a spinach container. I could see how that would be. Shocking that. Yeah. Okay, Southfield, Michigan. A woman in suburban Detroit said she got a scare when she discovered a live frog in a live frog in a container of spinach purchased from a grocery store. Man, how does that even happen? How is it alive? Amber Warwick of Southfield said she bought the sealed Earthbound Farm spinach package earlier this week from a Meijer store. When she got home, her daughter found a live frog in the container and screamed, Warwick said. It was alive and moving, Warwick said. Just thank God I didn't eat the frog. Oh, yeah, man. I hate it when I accidentally eat live frogs. It's so scary. Oh, man. Warwick said she immediately returned the package and the frog to the store. Here's your package.
Where are we going?
By the way, here's the frog. I found it in the package. I wanted to make sure you had this frog.
Lady, that frog was not in this package when you left with the store from the store. You know you brought that frog from home.
It's like she was thinking, man, if I'm going to get a refund, I got to return all the contents of the package here. I just picture this little like Tupperware container. Here's the frog. Workers there released the frog and gave her a refund, she said. The TV station video showed the frog in a sealed container. Jennifer Holton, a spokesperson for the Michigan Department of Agricultural and Rural Development, told the Detroit Free Press that the store shouldn't have released the frog because authorities now don't know whether it's native to its state. It could have been an imported frog.
It could be like, hey.
This sounds more like a Californian reaction. Like, you can't even bring like pet gerbils across the border over there. Like, it could be an out-of-state gerbil. What about the frog? So, okay, last little statement here. Officials at California-based Taylor Farms, which owns Earthbound Farm, apologize in a statement and promise to continue to provide the freshest, finest quality of veggies for consumers. Well, okay.
You know who I only the freshest for those consumers.
Yeah.
The person I feel the most bad for in that situation is the guy who was holding the container with the frog and went up to the manager and was like, "So, what do you want me to do with this frog?"
Why do you have a frog? Well,
a lady found it in her. Was it spinach?
Yes.
Imagine if it was pickles.
Yeah, I know. I'm still trying to picture, like, what container. Like, oh, okay, it was probably fresh spinach, so it was like in a bag. I'm just trying to picture like opening spinach.
He was just living.
And there being a live frog in there.
He was just living his truth.
Yeah.
You know, I'm spinach.
Yeah. Frog loves some spinach.
Oh, that's hilarious. Somalia's sports minister publicly apologized Wednesday and ordered the chairwoman of a national track and field federation to be suspended after a seemingly untrained female sprinter represented the African country in the World University Games in China and took more than 20 seconds to finish a 100-meter race.
Some random person?
Minister of Youth and Sports Mohammed Bar Mohamud said his ministry did not know how the 20-year-old Nasser Abubakar Ali was selected to compete in the women's 100 at the Student Games in Chengdu on Tuesday. The minister separately released a statement directing the Somalia Olympic Committee to suspend National Athletics Federation chairwoman Khadija Aden Dahir amid allegations that Nasra Abubakar was a relative of hers and was given a chance to compete at the games because of that.
That's the joke, right? Like, when you see this random actor in a movie or TV show, you're like, how did they get that gig? They must have been like a nephew or something.
Nepotism reigns. Somalia's university union said that it had not sent any runners to China as a part of an official Somali team. A video of the agonizingly slow run by Nasra Abubakar was shared across social media.
I want to see this.
Mohamud said that the performance was embarrassing for Somalia. In her qualifying race, Nasser Abubakar was immediately left behind the other runners and finished about 10 seconds after the winner.
I want to picture like a press conference later going, I would like to apologize for the shame that I have brought my country.
Despite being dead last, she did do a little skip in the end in the air as she crossed the finish line. I mean, she's a lot faster than the 10 million people that didn't race. That's all I'm saying. Right,
and I'm wondering too if this was like the first probably at that level, the first competition. They were like, "Man, you got to give me a shot.
I swear, I'm fast.
I've watched these people. I can beat them. I'm the fastest." And then and then made the best of it as she crossed.
Yeah, it's like when you and your buddies watch UFC.
Yeah,
and somebody
I can do that.
I can take that guy. Why doesn't he just smack him?
No, that guy in the heavyweight I probably couldn't take, but that little guy, oh yeah. I don't care if I don't have training. I can take him.
He's just like, listen, I'm super fast. You trust me. Well, have you ever seen her run? No, but I think she's gonna pull this out. I think it's gonna be good.
I still gotta wonder how does that happen?
100 meters in 20 seconds. How long is 100 meters? I don't know how long it is in feet.
Yeah, you're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't picture how many feet that is.
Yeah, we need a calculator, and we don't have one. So, and we need the internet, or else. Okay, here you go. Here's one for you.
All right. Oh, I've seen this. This cracks me up. I keep seeing this recirculating this year because I think it's ongoing. Okay, I got to read it because it's great. Our bears are real, a Chinese zoo says, denying they are humans in disguise. Man, if only the fact that this is an audio recording, you don't get the full gist of it, but I want all of our listeners to go and look up what we're talking about here, because this bear looks really highly suspect. It could be and from what I understand, like I had to do some digging because that's just the way I am, but this bear this bear really does look like what they're about to describe, but supposedly it's legit. So I don't know. I'll read this and see what you our listeners think. A zoo in eastern China is denying suggestions some of its bears might be people in costumes after photos of the animals standing like humans circulated online. The sun bears from Malaysia are smaller than other bears and look different, but are the real thing, the Hangzhou Zoo said Monday on its social media account. Okay, so quotations here. Some people think I stand like a person, said the posting.
Said the bear.
The person typing up the official press response from the zoo.
Some people think
the bear.
I am not a bear, but I am.
Whoops! I forgot to. They sent in their official response, and they read it later. Oh man, I said I instead of the bear. They're gonna find me out. Written from the bear's point of view, it says, it seems you don't understand me very well. I love that they're writing from the, that's how they played it off, right? It was literally the guy in the costume of the bear, but when they asked him about his response later, he said, oh no, I meant to write it that way. It's from the bear's point of view. I'm just thinking of the bear here. An employee who answered the phone at the zoo declined to talk about the bears, but said visits were being arranged for reporters Monday to see them. Oh, I bet. But that's really like strategic marketing if you think about it, though. Like, cause some kind of catastrophe like
that. The bear gets weekends off.
Yeah.
They got to arrange.
Sorry, the bear can't come out today. He's with his wife and kids. I mean, he's hibernating or something for a weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, they live in a tree. It's a big deal.
Yeah. When I say wife and kids, I mean bear wife and kids. An employee who answered the phone at the zoo declined to talk about the bears, but said visits were being arranged for reporters Monday to see them. Internet users questioned whether the zoo's bear were real after photos circulated showing one standing upright on slender hind legs. And I'm telling you, I know they say this is an actual species of bear, but it looks like a person. There's no meat on this bear. The skin is so it just looks, I don't know.
Is it wearing a wristwatch and
yeah, it's got glasses and it's amazing. It looks like if you've ever seen like you've been to some birthday party and somebody's wearing like a cheap costume and you can just tell, like maybe there's even sneakers poking out I didn't see the bear's feet, I guess. But anyway, okay, I got to get through this. Because of the way they stand, some people online question whether they are humans in disguise, the newspaper Daily said. Sun bears are the size of large dogs, standing at most 1.3 meters. It's a short bear. Tall on their hind legs, compared with up to 2.8 meters or 9 feet for reference for grizzlies and other species. So they are less than half the size of a grizzly. So that's about Yeah, 5 feet. Yeah.
Someone who uses American measurement systems should pre-read these articles and do some diligence to get the right. We can't visualize meters.
Well, I mean, it says 1.3 meters is the bear that they're talking about, and 2.8 meters is the grizzly. It also puts in parentheses 9 feet. So what you're looking at is for sure 4 feet something.
Okay, yeah. A meter's 3 feet. Yeah, so.
Yep.
Okay.
So there's your frame of reference. The last thing here, it says other Chinese zoos have been accused of trying to pass off dogs dyed to look like wolves or African cats and donkeys painted to look like zebras. See, I'm sorry, but this sounds just like something China would do. Like they're just going to throw in some rinky-dink operation there for the zoo. No, it's good zoo. And because they're so used to whatever the government says goes. So when the outside world gets a glimpse into their zoo, it's like, that's not a real zoo. That's not a real bear. And people, they're just used to saying, no, it's real.
No, it's real. We don't question it.
Do not question.
Do not question the bear.
I need to hear more from this bear, the bear's perspective. Like, what's this bear think about the economy?
I promise you I am a bear. I have been a bear for a while now.
The bear is deeply saddened by us thinking it's a human.
Raymondville, Texas. First there was Gone Girl. Now there's Gone Goat.
Gone goat?
The search for a rodeo goat that has been missing for more than a week has the residents of a rural South Texas county enthralled as they are using horses, ATVs, and contemplating utilizing a helicopter to find the missing animal.
Special goat.
Local businesses have donated nearly 90 prizes and gifts worth more than $5,000, including a brisket.
Oh yes,
including.
The search is on in Texas, y'all. That brisket alone put it on the map for people. They've got every guy in the county out there looking for this goat.
Yeah, I don't think that's exclusive to Texas, though.
What, the brisket?
No, the idea that a brisket will make men get off the couch and go search for
Oh,
a
yeah,
goat.
but that's definitely a Texas thing to put that in the reward list. Have I ever, not to get us off course here, but have I ever showed you the, hurricane prep that legitimately aired on local news stations around the Gulf Coast in Texas?
No, I've not seen that.
It talked about how necessary supplies for surviving a hurricane. So it's got bottled water, I think maybe a generator, the typical stuff that you want for a storm shelter. The last item, necessities, was brisket and where to find it at the best price.
I mean, it doesn't. I'm right behind you. Including brisket, frescoes, and salon service as a reward. Local as a reward for the person who finds the goat. This has just gotten bigger than we ever dreamed.
I bet.
Our county is a really small county, about 20,000 in population, and mostly agricultural, farming, and ranching. And we're very much one big family. So we're excited that everybody wants to find our goat, says Allison Savage, president of the Willacy County Livestock Show and Fair. Residents, including families, have been scouring cotton and sugarcane fields since the goat escaped from a pen in the county's rodeo arena near Raymondville on July 15th, following a youth rodeo on Sunday. When the goat first went missing, it didn't have a name, but after a poll on the Livestock Show's Facebook page, the goat was named Willie, short for Willacy County, Savage said. While the goat has a name, Savage said officials are not sure if Willie is a boy or a girl. The Livestock Show has been posting regular updates on its Facebook page. The search has also been a boon for the Livestock Show, as the residents and businesses have donated hundreds of dollars to make improvements to the nonprofit's arena and other facilities. He's hiding from us somewhere, but we're getting closer and we're going to find him, Savage said.
See, one thing that struck me about that is this goat sounds really important, right? Because of all the stuff they're doing here. And yet this person who's looking for it doesn't even know whether it's a boy or girl. I feel like if it's that important, you would know that.
But Josh, there's an update.
Oh, okay.
Willie, the rodeo goat who lassoed the hearts of the residents of rural South Texas County ever since she escaped from the arena enclosure in July 15th, has been found.
Oh, it's been found. The brisket has been awarded. Somebody got that brisket.
The elusive goat had hidden in sugarcane and cornfields, avoiding capture for weeks in Willacy County, about 300 miles southwest of Houston.
Sure.
Residents searched for her on horses, ATVs, and by drone. Local businesses aided in the search by donating 90 prizes, including brisket, bales of hay, and beef jerky to be given to whoever found it.
Oh, man. I would have been out there looking for this goat.
I mean, I'm kind of mad I missed it.
Let's have a little trip to Texas, join the goat enclave or something.
Flashlights and the vests and the little link arms and go through the forest.
I went to the Texas search party for the goat, and all I got was a shirt.
This beef jerky.
I didn't find the goat, but I was at least a part of it.
Yeah.
It's funny that you added the update there. Before you added the update that it had been found, I was starting to go to my mind like, is this foul play? Like, is there somebody angry at them and tried to you know what the best thing I can do to get at these people is to steal their goat.
Ricardo Rojas III didn't have to go far to find Willie. He and a friend caught the slippery goat on Monday in his backyard, about 1 mile away from where she escaped. A 16-year-old high school junior and family friend, Sammy Ambrose, were fixing animal stalls on the teenager's 10-acre family property located between Raymondville and Lyford in deep South Texas, where there was a Willie sighting.
Okay, so because of my roots, I gotta throw in something here. The goats, goats being taken from people as like either a prank or like maliciously, that's a real thing. Because I don't know if you ever heard of this expression before. Because when I met my wife, she had never heard of this before, and I was using it. And she's like, "What does that mean?" But there's an expression called, "Oh, I'm just trying to get your goat." Have you ever heard that before? Yeah. So like she had never heard of this before, and I was like, how do I explain this? But I thought about it, and I actually got like an official definition here. So for any of our listeners, especially if you're from out of the country, you're not living in America.
We are internationally.
It's true, and that's why we say that, is because we know, like, we see different countries that are listening. Some people may not have much experience with goat, especially experience with phrases like this. So to get someone's goat, it means to make someone annoyed or angry. So you could just say, I'm trying to make somebody annoyed by doing that. I'm trying to get your goat, trying to pick at you a little bit. But the expression comes from a tradition in horse racing thought to have a calming effect on high-strung thoroughbreds. A goat was placed in the horse's stall on the night before the race. Unscrupulous opponents would then steal the goat in an effort to upset the horse and cause it to lose the race.
Wow. These poor goats.
They just want to be left alone, and people are out there just snatching them.
Wow.
So that's immediately what my mind went to when you're reading the article. It's like, oh, we got a goat snatcher.
Oh, we got to go. Oh, man. I bet there's a market for goat snatching. The black market.
Oh, yeah.
Black market goat snatchers.
Hire some official professional goat snatchers.
A guy with like a suit and sunglasses. And
yeah, you meet him out back. and you got to explain to him, like, here's the goat. You hold up a picture. How much do you charge?
There you go. That one's for you.
All right.
A lot of these are animal related, by the way.
Okay. Animal theme. All right. This is snake in a toilet. Slithering visitor to Arizona home camps out where homeowner least expects it. This reminds me, I saw recently a video where a snake slithers down from like the hole that a ceiling fan comes out of.
I mean, is that the nightmare of nightmares or what?
The fan blades are going and just flings the snake at the person. I feel like this would be worse though. So let's dive in here. Tucson, Arizona, like a scene out of a horror movie. Michelle Lesbrin returned to her Tucson, Arizona home to find a snake had set up camp in her toilet. I'd been gone for 4 days and was looking forward to using my own restroom in peace. I lifted up the lid, and he or she was curled up in the toilet. Thank God the lid was closed. The hysterical encounter. Somebody's laughing it up at the Associated Press there. It happened July 15th. Excuse me. But Lesbrin had been getting messages from family, friends, and even people she went to high school with since Rattlesnake Solutions, a Phoenix-based company that removed the snake, recently posted an employee's video. The 20-second video shows the snake being pulled out of the toilet bowl and then hissing straight at the camera. Everybody has the same reaction. Oh my goodness, that's my worst nightmare, she said. Other people thought it was a prank video and the snake was a prop. Even my law partner was like, haha, nice gag. Lesbrin, a personal injury attorney, said that that's what they said. Lesbrin says her father tried to wrangle the snake that same night, but it slithered away. So she called Rattlesnake Solutions in the next morning. Oh, wow. Listen, if that snake got away from me, it doesn't mention it here, but I would not be sleeping in that house. I can only assume she did not sleep with a slithering snake on the loose in her house. Anyway, it took the handler, who Lesbrin calls my hero, 3 tries to get the black and pink coach whip snake firmly in his grasp. He was able to wrestle the snake with one hand while capturing it all on his cell phone with the other. Oh my goodness. Is that not the just picturesque of our time and day that we live in? Like one hand wrestling a snake, the other recording.
You have it on your throat, and it's like latched onto your neck.
He's so
and somebody's
committed.
like, hold on, I gotta get my phone.
I can't let go, but I gotta get this footage for my TikTok. You could have died. Yeah, but now I'm viral.
Small price to pay.
Yeah. Everybody's got to pay the price for fame. The handler later released the snake. So lest you get the, what is it? What is that organization that advocates for animals?
Oh, ASPCA.
Lest they get mad.
He's probably chilling with the frog.
Yeah. You're not supposed to release the snake like that. It could have been an out-of-town snake. It was measured between 3 feet and 4 feet long in a natural habitat elsewhere. Brian Hughes, the owner of Rattlesnake Solutions, said it wasn't the first time his staff have seen a coach whip snake in a home, though. It's rare to find reptiles in residences. Fortunately for Lesbrin, the species is non-venomous. Still, she was taking no chances. Yeah, same. That would be me.
There's your coach whip snake. Assume that.
There's basically harmless.
Take their word for it. Yeah. I'm harmed. I'm just reading the story.
Yeah. After her reptile run-in, Lesbrin used her guest bathroom for 3 weeks before feeling comfortable enough to go back to her own bathroom. And she no longer enters the bathroom in the dark and always lifts the lid ever so slowly. It's forever changed by that encounter with the snake.
Oh, yeah, I would be too.
Yeah.
The other day I was working and this little spider had come down from the ceiling, and it was probably like smaller than like, I don't know, a pencil eraser or whatever. Maybe a little bit bigger than that, but not much bigger. And it went on down, and I tried to get after it, and it went back behind the desk and down to the floor. And, of course, I lost it at that point because my room's a mess, you know. My office is a mess. And, man, I couldn't stop thinking about that spider. and then the next day it was it come running across the desk, and I reacted and smacked it with my bare hand, which I'm just not good with bugs. I never have been. But I was like, blah.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't imagine a snake in a toilet. If it was a snake in a toilet, I'd probably have to just go outside for the rest of my life. I don't know if I could.
Snakes are the worst for me. I can't stand snakes. Like, if it's even on my property, I have a hard time just letting it go, you know, and because everybody will say that comment that, well, they eat rats or mice or whatever, and they're helpful. But yeah, if there's one in my house, I cover your ears, ASPCA, but that snake is not living. Like I'm putting an end to that snake.
I thought you were gonna say you had to send your wife after it.
No, yeah. No, like like I have such a fear. Like I have to act. Like I have to put an end to this threat. So
I'm that way about bees. If I see
Yeah.
a bee, then it's all over.
yeah.
Intrepid athletes donned snorkels and slithered through slime on Sunday during one of Britain's quirkiest sporting events, the World Bog Snorkeling Championship. The annual competition in the tiny town of Lynwerted Wells, Wales, sees competitors race to complete 2 lengths of 60-yard water-filled trench cut through peat bog. They can use flippers on their feet, but conventional swimming strokes are banned. Some contestants accessorize their snorkels, masks, and flippers with more flamboyant touches. One carried a giant plastic toad on their head. Another had a bathing cap adorned with flowers. Spectators also got in on the fun, wearing 2 pink cardboard boxes proclaiming them to be limited edition bog snorkeling Barbie and Ken.
What?
Competitors at the 35th annual contest were hoping to beat the time of the current record holder, Neil Reuter, who won in 1 minute 18 seconds in 2018.
2018. Wow.
Bog snorkeling.
Bog snorkeling champions.
Yeah, you can check out the story on apnews.com, and they show the picture of the lady with the frog on her head. It's basically like a 60-yard mud pit, and they can't swim through it. They got to just, get through. I don't know. If traditional swimming strokes are banned, I don't really understand how you get through it.
Maybe you're doing like a frog kick or something. Like, that's all I can think of.
I don't know. You're allowed.
This was
flippers.
in Wales.
Yeah, Lynwerted Wells, Wales.
Yeah.
It might be. It's LLANWRTYD. Lynwerted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Lynwerted Wells.
It's a strange thing to do across the pond.
We'll make a sport out of anything, though, eh?
I guess so.
You'll like this one.
All right. Let's see. Thief steals former governor's SUV as he hosts a radio show. So he's hosting a radio show and he steals it. Okay. Former North Dakota Governor Ed Schaefer learned a lesson about his car keys after his vehicle was stolen as he hosted a Fargo radio show. Schaefer was guest hosting KFGO's News and Views program Friday morning. I love how radio stations try to get so cute with their news and views. Thoughts for your thoughts. When police called the station to ask if he owned a 2020 GMC Yukon, the station reported. Turns out the SUV has been stolen out of the station's parking lot. The thief apparently drove it to a probation office and surrendered to the authorities. What?
I just wanted to see if I could do it.
I've done it. I'm turning myself in. The vehicle has a push-button start feature and requires the key fob to be in the vehicle before it can be operated. But Schaefer had left a spare fob inside, enabling the thief to start it up and drive off. The former governor and U.S. Agriculture Secretary says he's been warned about being more careful. My wife for 31 years has said, "Why don't you lock your car?"
Who has warned him? Was it his bosses? Nope.
It was his wife.
It's like-
For 31 years, she's been telling me this, and it finally happened. So the cynical side of me almost wonders, like, this wife is so mad. She's like, I'm going to go find this guy, and I'm going to tell him, can you please just take my husband's, just return it. Like, just pull into, turn yourself in afterwards. I'll pay you handsomely. But I just want my husband to learn this lesson. I've been trying to teach him for 31 years.
You mean wives would do such a thing? Wives would do that?
So when I see this last sentence where it says, why don't you lock your car? I've also simultaneously this week been seeing this meme that's going around where it's asking that very same question, like, why don't you lock your car? It's not safe or something. And then it's got this like backwoods mechanic it looks like he's from like Mayberry or something like that, and he's going, "Ain't got no gas in it.
Ain't got no gas in it.
Doesn't matter. They steal it. They ain't going far."
Copenhagen, Denmark. Norway is rebuilding a dilapidated reindeer fence along its border with Russia in the Arctic to stop animals from wandering into the neighboring county. Costly strolls for which Oslo has to compensate Moscow over the loss of grassland. Norwegian officials said Thursday that so far this year, 42 reindeer have crossed into Russia seeking better pastures and grazing land.
They're reindeer immigrants.
The reindeer barrier along the Norway-Russia border spans 93 miles. This one I did actually correct. The reindeer barrier along the Norway-Russia border spans 93 miles and dates back to 1954. The Norwegian Agriculture Agency said a stretch of about 4 miles between the Norwegian towns of Hamburgvatnet and Storskog would be replaced. The construction, with a price tag of 3.7 million kroner, which is $348,000.
Oh, okay. Answer my question.
Yeah, I translated it. The construction, with a price tag of $348,000, is said to be completed by October 1st. The work is a challenge, however, as the workers have to stay on the Norwegian side of the border at all times during construction, which makes the work extra demanding, said Magnar Evertsen of the agency. If a worker crossed into Russian territory without a Russian visa, that would be that would amount to illegal entry. The reindeer crossings bring a lot of additional bureaucracy. Russia has sent 2 compensation claims, the agency said. One claim is for nearly $4,700 per reindeer that crossed into Russia to graze.
Reindeer fees, man. They'll get you.
To graze in the sprawling Pacific Zepet. You know what? I'm going to give up on that. Natural reserve in the Russian.
Just roll your R's a little bit and call it good.
The other claim is asking for a lump sum of nearly $4.4 million in total for the days the animals grazed in the park, which consists mostly of lakes, rivers, forests, and marshland. I mean, how much are they out? Like a few blades of grass.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they're compensating for all the what was it? How that other lady's lawsuit put it? Like, it's a loss of life.
Loss of enjoyment of life.
Loss of enjoyment of life to go out there and have to handle that situation.
I no longer enjoy my life.
My Russian brothers, we must go stop the reindeer.
You know what would make me feel better is about 47 million kroner.
Yeah. I could look the other way if you just gave me kroner.
Oh, man. The agency said that of the 42 animals that entered Russia this year, 40 have been brought back to Norway, and the remaining 2 are expected to come back soon. The returned animals have been slaughtered.
Does this say slaughtered?
I read these a while back when I selected them, but I didn't read them super closely, so, because I also wanted to kind of have it be natural a little bit, and that one kind of shocked me. The returned animals have since been slaughtered out of fear that they may wander back to Russia.
We're going to make an example out of these reindeer.
Jeez.
They made all the other reindeer watch.
I think
We're going to line them all up. This is what happens.
I think I'd take my chances in Russia.
Yeah.
The Norwegian Food Safety Authority may demand the carcasses to be destroyed for safety reasons, the government body said in a statement. The reindeer are herded by the indigenous Sami people in the central and Arctic Norway, formerly known as Lapps and Sami. The Sami are believed to have originated in the Central Asia and settled with their... I don't need to read that. Hold on.
So... I've got one more comment though. Like, we forgot to give a spoiler warning for all those kids listening to this podcast.
I think those are supposed to come before
Santa's
the graphic.
Reindeer? Well, it also makes me think like, man, this would make a so maybe I shouldn't say this on this podcast because this might be a terrific money-making opportunity for you and I, Dan. But this sounds like the long forgotten origin story of Santa and his reindeer who escaped the tyranny of the Norwegian folks that began slaughtering their brethren for trying to simply escape and live free lives.
Oh my goodness.
They found a refuge at the North Pole where now they have the ability to fly.
The unauthorized true story of Santa and his reindeer.
Yeah, I feel like what is that show where it's got that obnoxious like drum sound where it's like grung grung? Like these are their stories.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Cliff. You don't know about Cliff because it's too late for Cliff.
Cliff didn't make it. Cliff was the first to be made an example. I'm just picturing, because you said like on both sides of the fence there was like, I forget, there was some kind of like red tape involved for crossing that
Yeah, you
reindeer
can't
fence.
cross over.
So I'm just wondering, like, did they hire like a few Russian guys to stand on one side of the fence and help, and then some
Arms folded.
yeah,
I'm watching you.
and then like there's something terrible that happens on one side of the fence, and the other side has to just stand there and watch because there's no crossing that fence.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's parts of I heard, and this is like one of those things that I didn't you know, I internet heard this, but I heard there's a place in Alaska where it's like you can walk to Russia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And somebody was like, in this documentary was like, you don't want to do that because the Russians do not like that.
Yeah.
Do not like people crossing into their country.
what is your business?
Turn around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. That one's yours.
All right. T-Rexes race to photo finish at Washington State Track. Oh, man. This ought to be good. Auburn, Washington. A track for live horse racing in suburban Seattle turned prehistoric over the weekend as more than 200 people ran down the track cloaked in inflatable Tyrannosaurus Rex dinosaur costumes. So you and I have a mutual person we know that used to work for our company that has a T-Rex suit. So I'm just picturing that probably.
That is exactly what it is.
A bunch of people.
It's one of those T-Rex costumes where it's big enough for a person, and then it's got the giant.
But
head
I'm
over top.
picturing people running in that, and you've got this inflatable head just flopping from side to side as so ridiculous. The 2023 T-Rex World Championships at
World Championships,
Emerald Downs.
not
Yes.
your regional championships, not like your lower level circuit.
Yeah.
We're talking where our listeners are. Those places.
Yeah, imagine all the world qualifiers that everybody had to race in their home countries.
Yeah, first you have to qualify in like the Boston Marathon, and then you get to go to the T-Rex race.
I'm just picturing like in Sudan, like this guy showing up at a track meet, and he's like, "Am I the only one?
Am I the only one?
I guess I'm it. I don't even have to race. I'm going. I'm representing my country."
By virtue of buying a T-Rex costume, you're in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's in some countries that's all it takes. I'm sure in America it's a little bit more steep.
I mean, I kind of want to do it now. I mean, if there's a 2023 World Championship, that means there probably was a 2022, which means there's going to be a 2024. So all I really need,
You got to start preparing now, Dave.
I know, I think all I really need is the plane ticket. The plane ticket home, I really wouldn't really need that because if I win, then I'd probably get money.
I mean, let's be real here. Maybe I'll give it the benefit of a doubt that maybe I'm cutting them short here. I'm not giving them enough credit. But I can't imagine that a lot of people showing up to this event are real, like, actual runners. I'm sorry. That's what I'm picturing. So you yourself, Dan, you've had some experience at least, like, running, jogging, all those things. You could probably clean house at this event.
Might be able to. I mean, I'm not. I hear a challenge. Sometimes I just got to take it.
I bet you, Dan, if you went and you competed this competition, we know a local guy around here that's always making his own like newspaper articles. On it's more so I guess on Facebook, but he's got his own little Facebook group. I won't name it, but
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So I bet you'd be interviewed by this guy.
I bet you I
if
could get interviewed by the town lunatic.
local
Yeah.
man.
By the local lunatic, yeah.
Local man makes his hometown proud by winning it all.
Yeah. We could be known for that. This podcast would just take off like a rocket if that happened.
Yeah.
2024 world.
I'm just picturing you like with half a T-Rex costume, pulled down, out of breath, saying, Life of Faith podcast.
I couldn't have done this without Josh.
Please like and subscribe.
And hit that notification bell.
An event that started in 2017 as a pest control company's team building activity ended in a photo finish. So this is a pest control company, and it started out as a company team building activity. And then one day it was worldwide. See, kids' dreams really do come true.
Yeah, they're like, we stink at this pest control thing, but this race is crazy.
They can retire now. They no longer work for this company because they're all the proceeds are going to them. Ended in a photo finish on Sunday. Ooh, stiff competition with 3 competitors hitting the finish line together. I'm just wondering, like, were they like linked in tiny little arms and arms as they crossed the finish line? Ocean Kim took top honors in the 100-yard, 91.2 meter dash after officials agreed. Kim of Kailua, Hawaii. Oh, that's where the worldwide part comes in. Even though it's the same country. Hit the finish wire just ahead of the pack. Second place went to Colton Winiger of Boise, Idaho, who entered as Dino the Dino. Is this like Dino from Flintstones? Is that what's going
Dino
on?
the Dino.
Seth Hershey of Renton as Rex Ray Machine finished this third. See, both places talk about the state, but this Seth Hershey of Renton, it must be a place there in Washington. That must be why they don't actually say like what state. I'm just waiting here for like I'm reading through. That's the end of the article, but I'm like, so it says it's worldwide. Was there anybody outside of the U.S.? Like you could say, well, there's somebody from across the pond, all the way in Hawaii that came here and won it all. But like, could you make a movie out of this? Were there German competitors who were like, we will crush you?
Like Mighty Ducks, but except it's Tyrannosaurus Rex racing?
Yeah. I really want a movie now that just takes us so seriously. And there's just all this slow motion footage of like dinosaur heads flopping in the wind. But it's the most serious thing ever. Yeah,
it could happen.
I think you could do it, Dan.
I'm not opposed to it. I mean, if it was closer.
See, the key, Dan, is to find a dinosaur costume with the least amount of wind resistance.
Yeah. If I did this, I would meter out 100 meters from my door to whichever direction up my street. I'd know exactly where it is, and I would time myself, and I would take it very seriously, and I would be very upset if I didn't win. That would be hard, losing in that race compared to other races. Well, I just am that way. I get a little obsessive. Like this year, I ran a 10-mile race, and I was like, I got to run this race, and I'm not going to stop running, and I'm not going to stop to walk. And my goal was to run 12-minute miles for 10 miles, which I did. And a local pastor came up behind me, and he was running so fast. And he went right by me. I mean, he just blew the doors off me. I looked at his time later. 8 minutes, 33 seconds per mile for 10 straight miles.
Wow.
I know. And he's like, no kidding, 10, 15 years older than me.
Wow.
I'm like, huh, I mean, more power to him, but I was a little like...
What if he's been doing that like half his life or something?
I mean, I talked to one of his congregants who is a good friend of mine, and he said that he just started working
last week.
Just started working when COVID hit.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I don't want to hear that. That's all right. It's okay. Just gotta... I'll get him in the Tyrannosaurus Rex round.
Yeah. I don't know, man. The last little bit, it sounded pretty intense.
It did sound intense. I don't know. I'm just getting to Washington. That would be the hard part.
Yeah, for sure. You need somebody to sponsor you, for sure.
Yeah.
So just
Perhaps the Life and Faith podcast.
Just drop us a line if you want to sponsor Dan in the next. You can help sponsor this podcast and also sponsor Dan's race.
This is a good opportunity to discuss. Yeah. No. That is available at lifeandfaithpodcast@gmail.com. Yeah. Okay. A Vermont armed robbery suspect who police say eluded capture in the past week in a vehicle, on a stolen bike, on foot, and in a stolen sailboat was arrested Thursday after he was spotted in a kayak on a river.
What? This is crazy.
Eric Edson, 52, was wanted on accusations of robbery of a store in Burlington on August 24th, impeding and insulting 2 police officers, and the theft of a sailboat and vehicles, police said. Because of the unusualness of Mr. Edson's various modes of flight, from cars to bikes to paddleboards to sailboats to tractors, it's easy to lose sight of the fact that Mr. Edson...
This guy is living in a Dr. Seuss book.
I can get there on a chair. I can get there in a square.
I can steal a bike.
I can steal a boat. If I hold my breath, I will learn to float.
Bars.
It's easy to lose sight of the fact that Mr. Edson is a dangerous person, Burlington Police Chief John Murad said Wednesday. Murad. August 30th, Burlington police responded to a man passed out in a running vehicle that matched the description of the one used in a robbery a week before, they said. When officers roused him, he fled at a high rate of speed, assaulting both officers with the vehicle. That evening, he fled on foot and then on a stolen bicycle before stealing a sailboat on Lake Champlain, police said. Edson was intercepted by the Coast Guard, but after the sailboat ran aground at the base of the lakeside cliff, he fled. Authorities said Vermont State Police received a tip Thursday that he was spotted in a kayak in the Lamoille. I'm going to say Lamoille.
Yeah.
It looks like Lamoille, Lamoille River in Georgia, Vermont, about 21 miles away from Burlington. Edson landed the kayak, ran away, and then jumped into the river and swam to the southern shore, where he was arrested by troopers and game wardens. Edson was taken to the hospital for evaluations of his injuries from being on the run.
This guy's living in a movie.
I know. I was thinking if he applied some of that ingenuity to his regular life, he probably wouldn't need to be an armed robber.
It's so it sounds random, but it almost sounds like it was planned out. Like, I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna go by bike. I'm gonna go by blimp.
Go by blimp. He was really bound and determined to get away. I mean, he's really putting a lot of effort into it. You know, hopefully he can turn his life around and, you know, get out of jail and you know, use some of that drive. He's going to be one of
those guys that, like, digs his way out of jail by spoons or something.
He dug with a spoon?
Yeah.
He dug with a toothpick?
Yeah.
He dug with a trowel?
Let's see. Next one here. China authorities arrest 2 for smashing shortcut through Great Wall with excavator. First I was like, is this like a British take on this? Like smashing. You know, like,
smashing. Oh, smashing.
Very good. China's Great Wall has been pierced by Genghis Khan, the Manchus, hope I'm saying that right, and now allegedly a couple of construction workers named Zhang and Wang who wanted a shortcut. Ah, yeah. I'm sorry, but it was just too long to go around. That was their excuse. Authorities in China arrested 2 people for smashing a path through a section of the ancient wall, a cultural icon and United Nations protected heritage site. The area of the breach was a broken down section far from the restored segments most Chinese and foreign tourists are familiar with. The government of Yuyu County, hundreds of kilometers west of Beijing, showed a dirt road cut through a section of the wall against a rural landscape, along with the 2 suspects identified as a 38-year-old man surnamed Zhang and a 55-year-old woman named Wang. The section lies in Shaanxi province at the western extreme of the wall, parts of which was constructed 2,000 years ago. It's relatively well preserved and holds important preservation and research value, the local government said. China places immense pride in the system of towers connecting walls wide enough for carriages to pass that stretch approximately 8,850 kilometers, or 5,500 miles, built mainly during the Ming Dynasty that lasted until 1644. The Yuyu County government said the arrests were made after a report of the breach was received on August 24th. It said the two suspects were in custody with further legal action pending. Wow. They just decided, like, this is going to take too long. We're just going to... Nobody will find out. We'll just... destroy a national landmark.
I've had construction jobs in the past, and, I know that breaking through, if you can do it something a little bit easier, then there's almost nothing that's not worth busting through to make your life a little easier. Construction's hard work.
But do you think that they just thought, like, we're going to do this and nobody's going to find out? I can't imagine what they thought was going to happen by breaking through the wall of China.
Was I not supposed to do that?
Oh.
Should I have went around? I didn't.
There's so much red tape.
Hey, I'm not saying they should have done it, but I get it.
Yeah,
anything to make your life easier.
Can't go over it, can't go around it, go through it.
That's right. It's become a stink at the U.S. Open. A pungent marijuana smell that wafted over the outer court clouded the concentration of one of the world's top players and left the impression that there's no place left to escape the unofficial scent of the city.
Was there a certain son of our president that was there?
Whoa! While the exact source of the smell remained a mystery Tuesday, one thing was clear. Court 17, where 8th-seeded Maria Sukkari complained about the overwhelming whiff of pot during her first-round loss, has become notorious among players in the recent years for its distinctive, unmistakable odor. Court 17 definitely smells like Snoop Dogg's living room. Said Alexander Zverev, the tournament's 12th-seeded man who won his opening match on the court Tuesday. Oh my G, OMG, it's everywhere. The whole court smells like weed. Okay, let me say that again. No, that's good. Stung by stories in the wake of Sakkari's match on Monday that made it appear that the U.S. Open standards are the sporting equivalent of a Fish concert, the United States Tennis Association conducted its own investigation of sorts to weed out the source of the smell.
To weed out the source of the smell? Okay, I see you, Associated Press.
I see you. And he may not just be blowing smoke. Sakkari herself suggested that when she complained to the chair umpire while up 4-1 in the first set, the smell, oh my gosh, I think it's from the park. After her 6-4, 6-4 loss to Rebecca Masarova, Sakkari told reporters, sometimes you smell food, sometimes you smell cigarettes, sometimes you smell weed. It's something we cannot control because we're in an open space. There's a park behind. People can do whatever they want. Flushing Meadows security staffer Ricardo Rojas. Is that the same guy from the other story? What is this?
Is that the getaway guy?
Yeah, this is the guy that found the goat.
Yeah. Oh, the brisket winner.
The brisket winner. He's like, I'm going to watch the tennis match.
Where was this at?
This is in NYC.
Okay.
I'm going to look this up now. I want to know. I think the other guy's name was Rojas as well.
Imagine somebody that had, like, they were retired or something, or they could retire young, and with all the time and money on their hands, they could just travel the world trying to insert themselves in as many, like, national headlines as possible. Like, they just showed up everywhere, and people were like, there's this guy again.
It definitely was Ricardo Rojas, except this the Ricardo Rojas that found the goat is Ricardo Rojas III.
Ah, okay.
So
his grandfather was...
I don't make these up. Okay, I don't just write these. His grandfather.
Well, we know you don't make them up, Dan, but we're kind of wondering if whatever it is. that published it.
Ricardo Rojas, who was working the gate outside Court 17 on Monday, said he took a break in the park around the time of Sakari's match, and there was definitely a pot smell going on. But he noted that while he enforces a strict no smoking policy. But he noted that while he enforces a strict no smoking policy inside the USTA's Billie Jean King National Tennis Center, the park is, quote, outside my jurisdiction. It's legal in New York for adults 21 and older to possess up to 3 ounces of cannabis and 24 grams of concentrated cannabis for personal use.
It's legal, man.
It's legal, man. 3 ounces? That's a lot. For personal use, and they may smoke or vape cannabis wherever smoking tobacco is allowed. Adam Plazik, who attended Monday's match on Court 17 with 2 friends from Hartford, Connecticut, said he smelled pot but didn't see anyone in the stands it could be coming from. He admits he, quote, partakes from time to time, but never would dream of lighting up at the U.S. Open. Listen, I've hung around pot smokers. There ain't one of them that could say they wouldn't dream of it. Maybe they would have better judgment in a moment, but they couldn't say they never dreamed of it.
Somebody thought they could get away with it.
Yeah, thought yeah. My boss heard about the pot story at the U.S. Open and texted me, Plasic said. We told him we were there, and he was like, quote, well, that explains the smell. So his boss is like, must be you.
Yeah. Say no more.
Other players in the past have complained about the pot smells emanating from Court 17. Sakari, a semifinalist at the U.S. Open 2 years ago, said the smell didn't affect her while playing. Still, some fans at Flushing Meadows had little patience for the notion that a top player would be thrown off mentally by the smell of pot. It's New York, it's everywhere, said fan Diane Patrizio of Southampton, New York, as she stood in line to enter Court 17. But what are you going to do?
Yeah. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Hey, New York.
What are you going to do?
World Open. I'm just picturing somebody like, where's that smell coming from? They go and investigate around this park, and as they get close to the park, you hear this guitar slowly strumming, and then you hear, sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy.
And that is it for the news today.
Oh, man. I feel more awake now.
You've been listening to the Life and Faith podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Stay up to date on all our episodes. Like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.